Today I'm bringing you my first ever official rebuild on Football Manager. And what better way to start than be with my own team, Manchester United. And it's so fitting that just days ago, Erik ten Hag was sacked, meaning somebody has to take the reins and take over at Manchester United. Sorry, excuse me. Hello? Yeah, I just actually wanted to let you know that Bruno Amorim has been announced as the new Manchester United manager. Oh, shit. So yes, here we go. We are here with a rebuild. It's been requested by many of you in the comments on some of my experiments. And do you know what? I do love playing the game. And rebuilds is something that I've been thinking about doing for a while. It was one of the things I was planning on implementing in FM25. Of course, the delay of FM25 has led us to here. So the first rebuild probably would have been coming around now during the beta season. Well, early access season, or whatever you want to call it. Advanced access, as they were trying to call it this time. Yeah, SI, whatever you want to call it. And it was going to be with Manchester United, because yeah, I've not been Manchester United on Football Manager in maybe 5 years, maybe longer. I used to predominantly be Manchester United for years, and then I stopped playing for a few years. I got bored because I was always United, and I thought, why not be Manchester United for a bit? I don't think I've been Manchester United since before COVID. Anyway, here we go. We're here with Manchester United. Now, the objectives for today's rebuild are as follows. Season 1, we must qualify for the Champions League. Otherwise, this will be seen as a failure. Over the course of this rebuild, we will have to win a Carabao Cup because we won a Carabao Cup in real life. An FA Cup because we've won an FA Cup in real life in the last few years. Anyway, we actually have to win a Champions League, which we have not done in recent memory, and we also have to win 2 Premier League titles because we haven't done that in over a decade. So I want to be the first manager to win every single trophy at Manchester United and bring the Premier League back to Manchester United since Sir Alex Ferguson left his position. Without further ado, let's have a quick look at the squad. We're here already on the squad screen, as you can see. So here we are then. Now, I've got the updated database. So we've got Mazraoui, we've got De Ligt and Xerxes, and of course Ugarte. There he is. So in terms of the tactic, this is how I think we're going to set up. And if we do a pick without restriction best 11 at this moment in time, this is how we will be setting up. Now, what I might do is I might bring a second defensive midfielder in, and we'll just pop him in defensive midfield for now, because I think I'd like Ugarte to be in there. We've also got Kobbie Mainoo as well, who we're going to be trying to play quite a little bit throughout this experiment to try and get him to raise his game. But in terms of the back four, I'm quite happy with the back four at the moment. Harry Maguire, Lindelof, they're not great, and Johnny Evans, they're not great, but they're not bad for backups in the first season. We've got Martinez and De Ligt, who are the main two. They'll be fine. Rashford on the left is fine. Fernandes there is fine. Central midfield, we're actually doing really well because we've got Mason Mount, who I'm going to actually, while we're here, there we go. I've got Mason Mount, who I'm going to train to be more than competent at defensive midfield, so he can play there. But he's very, very versatile, is Mason Mount, so he's fantastic for any of these 5 positions. We've got Dallo, who's backup right back, backup left back. Malacia is injured for 8 to 9 months, so that's potentially a problem. So we might have to revisit that in this opening season. Centre backs, again, like I say, not too bad. Central midfield, we're absolutely fine because, of course, we've got Eriksen, Mainoo and Mason Mount, who are going to be filling in these positions. We probably want someone else up here because we've got no one up here. We've got Anthony. If I can get rid of it, 27 to 29 million pounds. I'd love to get rid of him. I'd love 150k a week. He's wanted. Let's try and get rid of Anthony in this first window. Jadon Sancho's not here. We've got Josh Xerxes and Rasmus Højlund, who are the top up front strikers. So essentially, I'm going to be looking at an inside forward on the right and maybe someone who can assist, maybe someone who's a bit versatile who can play across these 3 positions if we can afford them both. In terms of the finances, well, we actually do have £80 million in the bank. We're spending more than we would like to be on wages. So, right, just change the budget. There we go. And we've now got £63 million. So I think we're going to have to use some instalments, of course, but instalments are part of football nowadays. Now, in reality, every club uses instalments for almost every transfer. So we will probably be using instalments, and it might look a little bit like we've cheesed it because we'll probably be paying far more than we've got in current transfer budget. But we will be doing that to front load things to maybe strip it back further down the line. So without further ado, let's head on through to the end of the transfer window and see what we've been up to. In terms of the current transfer business, that is what has been going on. £284 million in spent and £190 million out. So yeah, there you go. So it's a bit of a glitchy one, this is actually, because of course you've got the updated database. So you've got all these players coming in. Actually, all these players here have come in 2 days earlier than all these players came in, when in actual fact, these all came through over 2 separate different seasons. Anyway, on we move. So first, the outs. We've got Victor Lindelof, who is actually who's gone to Tottenham on loan. He's actually joining them permanently for a mandatory fee of £11 million. Now, it's quite annoying that he's now worth 19.5 million, apparently. He was worth like 12 before, so I was quite happy with that deal. 29 years old, I don't think he's that good. Did I need to get rid of him? Probably not really, but they came in for him and I thought, let's cash in while we can. Let's get 120k off the wage bill. Speaking of getting money off the wage bill, Anthony has gone to RB Leipzig, and let me tell you, an optional future fee of £55 million. I do not think that they're going to buy him for that. But if they do, we will be laughing our little heads off, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, that would be absolutely fantastic. Now, that's the outs. Let's talk about the ins. But before we do, you can see here we've only got £1.1 million left in the budget. And let me tell you, I did use some installments. So yeah, who we bought in? Kvaratskhelia came in for £150 million. Now, the reason he cost £150 million is because we had to put a lot of money in installments. He was worth well over 100 million anyway, so I was putting a lot of money in installments. I didn't want to utilize all my transfer budget straight off the bat. So what we did, we used loads of installments, and as you can see, he's worth plenty of money. He's fantastic. I'm actually training him to be an inside forward on the right, because I want him to play both left and right positions, so he can go on the right and Marcus Rashford can be over on the left. So yeah, a great signing. And as you can see here, 2 games in, a 6.3, he's hit the ground running. We also said, let's get a player that can play across all 3 positions, and Florian Wirtz fits that bill. He's a young player. He's fantastic. He's worth a hell of a lot of money. Yes, he cost me £109 million. He actually cost me 100. That's including some installments, and there's like 9 million in add-ons with after a certain amount of appearances. He's got 6.88 and 2 assists in 4 games to begin with for the club. He's playing quite a bit, and as you can see, he can play across the front 3 positions, which was the versatility that we were kind of after when we were looking for players. Now, you think that might be it, but no. The reason I let Victor Lindelof go, when I said before, did I need to let him go? Not really. I did have some money left over, and one player in particular caught my eye. Ousmane Diomande, a centre-back who's going to be here for the long haul, 19 years old. He's cost us £55 million. We only paid £46 million initially. Some of those were in instalments, but the £9 million again is in add-ons when he's reached a certain amount of appearances for the club. He's played twice off the bench so far, getting a 7.00. And yeah, I think those 3 transfers are absolutely fantastic for that first season. Now, we are going to suffer down the line with those instalments, but I feel that we've got a squad, that we've got some good young players, and we've got some good players here that we can actually sell for quite big money. I think Christian Eriksen's going to be out the door. Casemiro's going to be going probably to Saudi Arabia, and you probably get some good money for Casemiro. You probably get about 60 million. So that'll probably cover some of the installments for one of the transfer windows. So I'm not too worried at this juncture. We'll probably be doing a few more installments next summer, but that's not until next summer. How are we doing so far then? As you can see here, the Community Shield, we won 1-0. A Josh Zirkzee goal. Shall we watch it? Why not? Let's watch it. Let's spoil ourselves, ladies and gentlemen. And there we go. Luke Shaw found Bruno Fernandes, who played it out wide to Kvaratskhelia into Mazraoui. Josh Zirkzee on the turn, bang, near post, 1-0. And that's how it finished. The first bit of silverware for us in our first game in charge. An honour getting man of the match. I mean, to be fair, we didn't really FM them. We had a better XG and then he had 4 shots on target. So a bit of a dull game, to be honest. A bit of a dull game. Anyway, we then lost to Liverpool 2-0, first game of the season. So a very tough start at Anfield. Then at Old Trafford, we've gone and beaten Man City. That's twice in the space of 3 games. We've beaten Man City. Rashford and Fernandes there. We drew against Crystal Palace, which was disappointing. A 92nd minute penalty for Daichi Kamada. And then we've just beaten Fulham 5-2. Rashford with a brace, Fernandes with a brace, and Josh Zirkzee with a goal as well. So where does that leave us in terms of the Premier League? Well, we are 8th after 4 games, a draw and a defeat. Now, the defeat was away at Liverpool, a game that most teams will probably not be expected to win. So I'm accepting that as a loss. The draw against Palace was disappointing. That being said, we've also beaten Man City, so we've played 2 very, very difficult games already. And as I say, the goal for the first season is just qualify for that Champions League. So top 4, maybe get in there in 5th. We are also in the Europa League, though, no less. So if we qualify via winning the Europa League, not too bad. Not too bad at all. We are in the Europa League Group D. We've got Lazio, Anderlecht, and Slovan Bratislava. So there we go. That's going to be the first season. That's the squad. That is the team. And those are the signings. Let's jump on through to the end of the first season then and see how we did. Well, there you go then. We finished 5th. Level on points with Man City, who were also on 71. They got 10 goal. Their goal difference was 10 better. We lost on the last day of the season, 3-1 away at Arsenal as well. So had we won that, we could have finished as high as 3rd, because Newcastle United lost to Villa as well on the last day. But we could have finished 3rd. Liverpool actually won the league, who beat us early in the season. Now, despite the fact we didn't score as many goals, we did actually get top goal scorer Marcus Rashford with the Golden Boot. So clearly, Ruud van Nistelrooy has been playing Marcus as a striker. Yeah, he's played him quite a lot as a striker, although he scored a hell of a lot of goals from the attacking midfield left position, 10 in 15. So he's played brilliantly all season as Marcus. He's actually really stepped up for me. Absolutely brilliant. In terms of the other competitions then, as we look, we got knocked out in the round of 16 by AC Milan in the Europa League. That's disappointing. Knocked out in the 3rd round by Spurs in the FA Cup. 4th round against Liverpool in the Carabao Cup. So we had no cup competitions really to speak of. Out in the first time of asking in the FA Cup, the second time of asking in the Carabao Cup, and straight after the group stage got knocked out by AC Milan. So disappointing, but something to build on. Something to build on. How have our players got on in the first season? Let's have a look at... Let's just move some stuff a little bit closer. Let's move things around on the fly while we're here. So in terms of goals, Marcus Rashford with 33 absolutely tore it up. We've got Bruno Fernandes got 15, Kvaratskhelia on 14, Garnacho got 11, Xerxes only got 9, but he didn't play that many games, Xerxes. 14 starts, 27 off the bench. Rasmus Højlund didn't really play at all. That's going to be something that we need to look into. We might need to farm him out on loan. Mason Mount's not played a lot, to be honest. Neither's Christian Eriksen. Christian Eriksen can go. Lenny Yoro, he needs a loan move. Diamonde played 14 starts, 14 off the bench, so he's improved somewhat. Is good. Oh, what's that? I've not got the editor on. Oh yeah, the in-game editor's not on, so I don't know why I can do that with the skin. Show the hidden attributes. No, it doesn't show the hidden attributes. It shows the current ability though. Well, whatever. Sorry, just got waylaid then. I didn't even notice that was on. Didn't notice that was there. Probably because I've not got it on the laptop downstairs. That's where I did this. Anyway. Kobe Mainoo played quite a lot this season. He's done quite well. Florian Wirtz got a 7.02 over the season. 7 goals, 38 starts, 5 off the bench. Kvaratskhelia, 40 starts, 6.96. So our 3 signings didn't do too badly. In terms of the finances, they've given us £81.5 million to spend. Now, from my perspective, we've also got an extra 100,000 in the wage budget. We are going to be selling, hopefully, people like Anthony. So that's 150k out of the wage budget and a load of money. We're going to be selling players like, well, I think Johnny Evans will be retiring. Johnny Evans is retiring, so there's another 65k coming in. Who else are we going to potentially ship off? I mean, Eriksen, hopefully, out the door, 150k. So we're going to be selling quite a few players and getting a lot more wage budget. So, yeah, let's go to the end of the transfer window and see what damage we've done. Okay, so let's just quickly rapid fire go through the outs. Christian Eriksen out the door, £13 million to Everton. Harry Maguire, £13.25 million to Lazio. Jadon Sancho, £20 million to West Ham. Now, he's not that good on this. He's he was never going to get in the team. He came back from loan from Chelsea. I thought that was going to become permanent, but it didn't. There's 250k more in the wages as well. Absolutely happy days. Josh Xerxes for £21.5 million. Now, I wasn't really going to sell Josh Xerxes, but it'll become very clear why we did sell Josh Xerxes in due course. Casemiro for £43 million went to Saudi Arabia. Again, another big wage off the bill, and a good bit of money for a player that I deemed surplus to requirements. Again, all become clear very soon. And Bruno Fernandes for £99 million to PSG. Now, is that a mistake? He's 29 years old. Well, just you wait. You've seen all that money that's coming. We've got well in excess of £200 million, plus with instalments, and we've got loads of money in the wage budget. Do a bit of tweaking. So we did do some instalments, but we did do a couple of players with release clauses. Let me talk about that first player as a release clause. £106 million for Jamal Musiala. Now, we bought Jamal Musiala. We wanted him. He had a £106 million release clause. PSG were flirting around Bruno Fernandes, and essentially, in my opinion, if you compare Bruno Fernandes and Jamal Musiala, I think Jamal Musiala is better, and he's 21 years old. For £7 million more, I thought that was a phenomenal deal. Because Bruno Fernandes is only going to get worse from here on in. He might have another season in him, but by the time we get into season 4, season 5, you're not going to get much money for him. He's still on a massive wage, and you probably want to get rid of him. Whereas Jamal Musiala, he's here for the long haul. He's going to be who we build this team around. So I felt that was a fantastic trade up. Speaking of a trade up, well, we got rid of Casemiro, as I said, and we've bought Warren Zaire-Emery. We've wanted to get some young players in, and now we've got another who can sit alongside Kobbie Mainoo, and we are going to be really solid in defensive midfield. Warren Zaire-Emery, he was the first signing of the transfer window of £125 million. There was quite a few instalments here. I think I paid 50 up front and 75 in instalments over the course of 3 years. So yeah, that's going to hit us down the line. But again, he's going to be a player that's going to be here for the long haul, and I think he's going to be absolutely world class. So he's a model citizen as well. It felt like a no-brainer. You want to get people in who have got good personalities, who are going to be the rock and the spine of your team. Speaking of the spine of the team, did someone just say Scalvini? Yes, they did. It was me. Giorgio Scalvini, £72 million from Atalanta. Again, had to use some instalments. And did we need a centre-back? Well, Johnny Evans retired. We got rid of Harry Maguire. Victor Lindelof's loan move to Spurs became permanent. So we literally had Martinez, De Ligt and Diamonde as our centre-back. So we did need a fourth. Giorgio Scalvini, again, another youngster, 20 years old. He's going to be here for the long haul. That's the kind of thing that we're doing. We're building from the ground up with some good, world-class young talent. Again, he's spirited. He's a wonder kid. And look, you don't need me to tell you about Giorgio Scalvini. If you've been playing this game and you've been one of the bigger teams, he's one of the players you look to strengthen your defence early doors. So there you go, Scalvini. We weren't done there though. Josh Zirkzee, this is why we sold Josh Zirkzee. We needed some money, for Benjamin Sesko. We had some other transfers that were on the periphery. Casemiro hadn't left by this point, and a couple of other players hadn't left who did leaving, so we probably didn't need to sell Josh Zirkzee, but I didn't really feel like there was any place for him. Benny Sesko had a £43 million release clause, so we paid him up front and paid him outright to Leipzig. £43 million. Again, great potential. He's fairly ambitious. He's level-headed. He's one of my favourite players on the last couple of Football Managers, so that felt like a no-brainer. So yeah, Benny Sesko, welcome to the club. He's already scored in his first 4 games as well. 2 starts, 2 off the bench. We'll maybe go and watch that goal, shall we? Now, the last signing. Now, this was instalments through the roof. That's why it's £135 million. They wanted somewhere between 80 and 110. And because I had so many, I think I only paid 30 million up front for Caicedo. And I didn't need him. But let me tell you why I bought him. Chelsea are first in the Championship. We were looking last season. Now, I hadn't noticed at the time, and I don't know if any of you in the comments have noticed, but let's just go back and look at the stages where we finished 5th. Chelsea finished bottom with 4 wins all season. What on earth happened there? Now, you look at their team. Look who's there. They've still got Nkunku, Nicholas Jackson, Cole Palmer, João Felix, Mudryk, Fofana, Cucurella, Badiashile, Fofana, Disasi, Madueke, Levi Colwill, Reece James, Dewsbury Hall, Chalobah, Romeo Lavia, Enzo Fernandez. They did have Caicedo. All of them asking to leave because the club got relegated. How have they got relegated with only 4 wins all season? I've got absolutely no idea. Looking at the schedule, they were just bad, weren't they? They were just absolutely awful. They had a good start to the season as well, winning their first 3 games, and then they only won 1 more game all season. They had an absolute. We drew against them. Of course we did. Bloody hell. Abysmal. But I saw Chelsea got relegated because I don't know how I saw it, but someone came up and I ended up just clicking on a random play and it said I think it was Reece James. It said wants to leave the club, and I looked and it said wants to leave due to the club being relegated or something. Yeah, and I was like, what? Chelsea got relegated? And I double checked, and I was like, what the hell? So I went and looked through their team and thought, who could potentially strengthen our squad? And I wasn't really that bothered. I was just looking and I thought, should we try and get Caicedo? And yeah, we could just about afford him. So we've got some serious instalments going on at this point. Some serious instalments, which could lead to some big problems down the line. But I feel like we don't really need to go mad in future seasons. We've got a goalkeeper. We could maybe do with a different goalkeeper, but we'd probably sell Onana if we got a different goalkeeper in. Centre-backs were set. We've got 4 centre-backs there. Luke Shaw, left-back. Dello can also play left-back. We could probably do with another left-back. Another left-back or another right-back, and then one of those 2 can play left-back. But full-backs, we've got 3 good players there. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players who can play central midfield. So maybe 1 heavy, so we could probably get rid of someone. Musiala, Virtus, Kvaratskhelia, Garnacho, Rashford, Højlund and Sesko. For me, I don't think you have to really add to that. I think that's going to be absolutely world class and just dominate. So we're maybe a couple of fullbacks away from an absolute killer squad. I mean, we probably do need to flesh the squad out with a couple of youngsters, but we can pick up a couple of youngsters for dirt cheap, a few regens, new gens, whatever you want to say. So, yeah, there you go. Here we are then, at the start of the new season. In terms of the schedule, up to this point, we've just lost 1-0 to Spurs, unfortunately. But we started off the season pretty well, with a 2-1 win against Southampton, a 4-1 win against champions Liverpool, and then a 2-0 win against Brighton. Benny Sesko with his first goal there in the 90th minute. So, yeah, improving on last season. That's the goal for this season. Finances, we're £195 million in debt, which is not great. But we're underspending on the wages, so that's fine. In terms of clauses, I mean, look at this. I mean, this is part of the problem with United. Anthony, yeah, don't forget, he's still here. I've put him in the under-21s. He can't even be bought for $5 million. I've had a right time with Anthony. We're still paying for Anthony. We've still got to pay another $40 million over the next 4 seasons. So when I'm here going, oh, look at this, I've got these clauses for Caicedo, yeah, $25 million for 3 seasons and then $15 million for 2 seasons after. Bit, 5 years of clauses. Well, we're a bloody season in, and we've still got 4 seasons worth of clauses for Anthony, and he's been here for a couple of years. So in real life, they do it. Diamonde, 10.3. Oh, we sold Amad Diallo as well. He's gone to Atalanta for just under £10 million. Rasmus Højlund, we still got to pay £8 million for the next 4 years to bloody Atalanta as well. So Casemiro, we've still got to pay another $20 million for him. We've just sold him for 43. So we're absolutely massively out of pocket for Casemiro. But so if we go into financial ruin because of some of my transfer dealings, I'm going to say the people that came in before me, Ten Hag, was doing just as much damage as I have, but should be all right. We've got a couple of players we could still sell with reasonable money. Like, who would we really sell? I'd probably sell Mason Mount, even though he's or Ugarte. I quite like Ugarte though. I'd rather keep him. So probably sell Mason Mount for about 30 million. That might just bounce the books a bit. Anyway, let's move on to the end of the season and see how we got on in season 2. Well, look at that then. League champions by 6 points. We beat Aston Villa 6-2 on the final day. Yeah, we weren't in the top goal scorer charts, which is unfortunate, but look at this. Jamal Musiala, player of the season, most player of the matches, top assists. What more can you say? Joint best clean sheets, Andre and Onana, so defensively we're fantastic. Our goal difference is through the bloody roof, and we've got no one in the top goal scorer charts. That means we are sharing the goals around everywhere. That is phenomenal. Have a bit of that. What we've done in other competitions. We've won the Carabao Cup. We won 2-0 against Liverpool in the final. Rashford and Benjamin Sesko. Benjamin Sesko's improved brilliantly as well. He scored 30 all season in 50 games. 8 of those were substitute appearances though, so he's done pretty well himself in his first season at Manchester United, in a league winning season and a Carabao Cup winning season. We got knocked out in the 3rd round by Spurs. Look at that, we're in the final of the Champions League against Real Madrid, so we'll skip forward again another month and we'll come back and see how we did there in a second. But looking over the schedule, bloody hell, look at this, we played Tottenham 4 times in a row here. Carabao Cup semi-final both legs. The FA Cup, we lost 4-4, lost on penalties after a 4-4 draw. 2 own goals, penalties. Oh, Jesus Christ, what a game. And then we lost it, we beat them in the league, 4-0. Sorry, it was mad. So yeah, Champions League, we've absolutely done brilliantly, beating Barcelona on the way, Inter Milan, Juve. We've done very well for ourselves this season. Very well indeed. Let's go forward another few days and just see the Champions League. Oh, can you believe that? We've lost 3-2 to a 90th minute goal from Rodrigo. We were 1-0 down, went to 2-1 up, and then it was 2-2 after 23 minutes, and that's how it stayed until the 90th minute when Rodrigo scored. Heartbreak. Ben Sesko getting a 6.2 and didn't even come off. That's because you're playing bloody Marcus Rashford there when he's probably your backup striker. Rasmus Højlund, you're not even bothered about Rasmus Højlund. Pathetic. Oh well, we didn't win that, but we've won a Premier League, we won a Carabao Cup, so that's 2 things ticked off. In terms of the budget then, they didn't give us much budget. They really didn't give us much budget. We were £100 million in the hole. We've got £23 million here. We're under on the wage spend. We are under on the wage spend in terms of the debts. Oh, we've got £340 million transfer debt. Again, half of that's not mine, so wind your necks in, ladies and gentlemen. The bank loans are paying £13 million a month. That's like £150 million a season on top of the running costs of the club. We are in a problem. We are in a serious problem. So we can't really afford to do anything. We don't really need to do anything. I'd like another fullback. I feel we need a fullback just to help Luke Shaw out on the left because he's injury prone as well. That's going to be our weak link. So what can we do? Let's go and have a look at what we did. So we finally got rid of Anthony. That's another 150k off the wage bill as well. He's going to Al Fire. Tyrell Malacia went to West Ham. He was there on loan, and I think that was becoming a permanent deal. He went there for that £9 million. We also got rid of Nusa Mazraoui has gone on loan to Leipzig. Again, a good bit of money off the wage bill. So that's helped us out with the wages, the finances. Now, the board gave us some more transfer budget, despite the fact that last time we were here, we had £100 million in the hole. We're now £240 million worse off. We're spending about the same on wages, and we've got more in the transfer budget than we had before. Yet we've just bought Michael Coyote. Now he had a £64 million release clause, so that was all in. There's no instalments. There's no jiggery pokery with his transfer, none at all. Now he was bought because he is one of the best right backs, in my opinion, on the game. One of the best young right backs, anyway. He certainly has the potential to become unbelievable. He's already fantastic, and he's got more potential ability in him, in my opinion. So I bought him for right back, and then Dalot or Mazraoui could play left back. Having said that, we've let Mazraoui go on loan, which was probably a silly thing to do. We probably needed him, but, you know, we're a bit shy in terms of our squad. We are really shy, actually. Yeah. Lisandro Martinez can play left back, and I think he might have to fill in and do a job there. We've got Lenny Yoro back now, so he can come in and do something at centre back as well. Caicedo, Mainu, Warren Zaire-Emery. Got him locked in as position for the moment as I'm simulating through because I wanted him to just get his promise of more for first team football because he wasn't playing as much. I think it's because we bought Caicedo after the fact and he's better. And Calvin Mainu is better than Zaire-Emery as well. Mason Mount, nobody wants him. Mason Mount's been on the transfer list for a couple of months. No one wants him whatsoever. Don't know what you're smirking about, Mason. Yeah, and we've let, what's his name, go on loan as well. Rasmus Højlund. So we are very, very depleted in terms of our squad. We're actually running with a 21-man squad. And for me, normally, I like to have like a 28, 29-man squad. A few youngsters as well as like maxing out the registration spots. So yeah, this is not my usual play style. Not my usual play style whatsoever. In terms of transfers, we've also got Nicolas Enrique, a youngster coming in from Defensa e Justicia. He's coming in 6 months' time. Well, 4 months' time in January. But he's going to be staying on loan where he is for the foreseeable to get a bit of first team football. But he looks good. He looks good. Train him up on the right as well so he can play all across the front three, have as an inside forward with that left foot. I think he'd be a fantastic player for us. He's professional as well in terms of his personality, so a nice little regen find for you there as well. That's it though. That's all we've been able to do. We've got a bit of money, but I don't really want to spend it for the sake of it, and that is concerning me. We are still hitting financial fair play somehow. But I do know throughout this save game, this did go red a fair few times. And yeah, let's go to the end of the third season then and see how we got on. I mean, look, we are the team. Look at this. I mean, you got Florian Wirtz, player of the season, who was brought in to be the utility man up there, not to be the main man. You've got Benjamin Sesko, golden boot. Florian Wirtz, top assist, whatever it's called. Kvaratskhelia, joint with Erling Haaland here in joint second. Top 3 average rating. Wirtz, Musiala, Kvaratskhelia, absolutely ripping up. Benny Sesko's in 4th. Michael Coyote, our new signings, in 5th. Diego Dalot down in 9th. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the top 9. I mean, just saying, we are bloody brilliant. Dominate the league by 12 points. That's 2 Premier Leagues. That's the 2 Premier Leagues ticked off by the end of season 3. Have we won anything else? Unfortunately, we lost in the quarter-finals of the Champions League to Real Madrid. We were knocked out in the FA Cup to Chelsea in the 4th round. We did win the Carabao Cup again, so we've had another Carabao Cup and League double. That's 2 in a row for those two. Benjamin Sesko with 4 in the final. We were 2-0 up, then it came back to 2-1, then it was 3, 4, 5-1, and then 2 more for Palace late on to make it 5-3, and somewhat more respectable. But Benjamin Sesko has scored 44 goals in 46 games this season. 10 of those were off the bench, so 36 starts, 44 goals. Benjamin Sesko has been a monster. and well worth the £43 million. Let me tell you that for free. In terms of the schedule, let's have a look at how we did do then in other competitions. So Real Madrid, oh dearie me. We lost 3-0 in the first leg. Vinicius Jr. with a hat-trick. In the second leg, we lost 6-1. We lost 9-1 on aggregate. All right then. Kylian Mbappe with 3 assists. Didn't even score. Where's Jude Bellingham? Oh, Jude Bellingham's gone to PSG. £216 million. So yeah, we won the Carabao Cup. We lost to Chelsea 3-1 in the FA Cup. And look at this. Three players still there from the days where they got relegated. David Washington, not a bad striker. He's not been played as much as he should have been. Get himself up there, but what are you going to do? We won the league anyway. Look at that. A 7-3 win against Chelsea towards the end of the season. Another hat-trick for Benny Sesko. 2 for Caicedo as well. Just we've done brilliantly this season. We've done absolutely brilliantly. And yeah, what was the budget for next season? Nothing. We're now £500 million in the hole. We're not going to adhere to financial fair play in the Champions League. We might have to sell someone to balance the books. They've stripped back our wage budget from 4.2 million to 3 million. We've got 800k in the transfer budget. 0% of transfer revenue is going to be made available. Yes, actually, apologies. Manuel Ugarte has gone to Real Madrid for £65 million. He left in January because when I came back and had a look in January to see if the club had influxed some money and given me a bit more transfer budget. I just wanted to say these. I see something was going on in January. Maybe I could get a couple of players in. And this was all red. We had problems upon problems upon problems. I've just sold £65 million worth of player, and we're still £500 million in the hole. So we've got no money next season. Our team is wanted by loads of players, loads of teams. All of our players are wanted by loads of teams because, of course, they are. And for some reason, they're not worth bloody anything. Why are they not worth anything? Why are they worth £75 million, £80 million? These should be worth 200 million. Maybe only a couple of years left on the contracts. Maybe that's it. And the problem is I can't renew their contracts because I've got no wage budget. So, way to run the club into the ground, Jay. Let me tell you now, if this rebuild wasn't a shambles, this would be so off-brand for the channel. I have made an absolute pig's ear of this. To be fair, United have made a pig's ear of it themselves with all their instalments. They're still paying for Anthony. They're still paying for Casemiro. They're still paying for bloody Rasmus Højlund. All 3 players are long gone in this save game. I'm probably still paying for a couple of players. Florian Wirtz, maybe. Kvaratskhelia, maybe. But, hey, what are you going to do? Let's go to the end of the transfer window then and let's see what I've done. And spoiler, nothing. Right. We've sold another player because the wages have come down. We're still massively overpaid. £294 million in the hole. We're now adhering to financial fair play. So what's happened in terms of players that have gone out? Well, let me tell you. What we did is we sold Mazraoui to Real Madrid. Because he came back from his loan, didn't make that permanent. So we've sold Mazraoui to Real Madrid. We coped without him last season. So I figured we could probably cope without him this season. Again, there's good money off the wage bill and a good amount of money coming in that could just help avoid financial penalties being imposed. Rasmus Højlund's gone out on loan. Oh yeah, I've also sold Lisandro Martinez to Newcastle. Yeah. I've sold over £100 million of the players, but nothing to show for it. But I've sold Lisandro Martinez with the logic of we've got Lenny Yoro, who he's improving by the season. He's actually looking pretty good now. He's Lenny Yoro. He's not got the best contract, and he's probably going to want a contract. He's supporting. What's he supporting? Unhappy with my treatment of Garnacho? What have I done to Garnacho? Wants more playing time. Oh, well, speak to Rude. Rude's picking the team, mate. I've done the tactics. I've bought the players. Rude Van Nistelrooy's picking the team. Nothing to do with me. Dick. Yeah, Jamal Musiala wanted by Real Madrid. Oh, his value's gone back up a bit now. Kobbie Mainoo's unhappy. Oh, he wants a new deal. We can't afford it, guys. We can't afford it. Right, where are we? 7 games in then. We're 5th in the Premier League. We've just lost to Sunderland. We're through in the Carabao Cup, beating Man City. That's good. Seems like it's our tournament at the moment, that. Lost to Palace on the opening day. Beat Brentford in the Community Shield as well, so another Community Shield to our name. Benny Sesko, top goal scorer, best player so far. 4 assists for Shaw and Coyote. They're absolutely ripping up down those fullback positions. Neymar's at Aston Villa. Didn't expect that, but there you go. Not a lot to report on transfer-wise. Only a couple of outs. No ins. At the end of the season. End of season 4 then. Oh. We might be down financially, but we're still fighting for the title. And we win the title once again. That's 3 in a row, ladies and gentlemen. 3 league titles in a row. Michael Chiodi with the most assists. Benny Sesko, runner-up to Erling Haaland in the Golden Boot. But he was the best player. The second best player was Jamal Musiala. We did not have as dominant of a season this time, though, did we? Not at all. But we did still win the league. So that's our 3rd Premier League trophy. Have we won anything else? No. Real Madrid beating PSG in the final. Real Madrid won it 3 years in a row. They've bought some of our players as well. We did win the FA Cup, though. We've won the FA Cup, beating Arsenal 1-0, so we can tick the FA Cup off the list. Marcus Rashford with a goal in the first minute. Let's watch it. How many seconds was this in then? 18 seconds. So Arsenal have kicked off. They've gone back. Saliba. Oh dear. Oh my God. Oh, talk about a mistake. 27 seconds in, Marcus Rashford steals him, gets the ball, wins it, scores the goal. That's how it finishes. So we've won the FA Cup, so we can take that off the list. How do we do in... Look at that, beating Tottenham 6-3 in the bloody quarter-final. Beat City 6-1. Benjamin Sesko with 4 happy days. Erling Haaland couldn't even restore a bit of pride with a 98th minute penalty. Missed it. Referee given that a pity. Lost to Napoli. Did we... What? We won on... Oh no, does that mean we lost 3-0 on penalties? Oh. Round of 16. That's dismal. And we've only got 1 season left to win the Champions League. Takeover. Next season budget will be 96 million. Is that next season or this season coming? We can't request anything. There's been a takeover. They've wiped the debts. Oh my God, they've wiped all the debts. The transfer debt is only £55 million now. What transfer debt is that? Clauses. Still owe 10 million for Anthony. Still owe 10 million for Anthony. 30 million. Oh, 55 million is on Moises Caicedo. Oh, 10% of the selling fee will go to Coyote. All right, fine, whatever. Still paying for Lisandro Martinez. Fucking hell. Mason Mount. We're still paying for Mason Mount. He's still here, though, at least. He's the one player that's still here. I've actually taken him off the transfer list because no one fucking wanted him. And we literally can't afford to lose any bloody bugger else now. Look how small the squad is. That being said, unhappy about failing through the Champions League latter stages. Well, I'm sorry, guys. It's you guys that were bloody at fault. Anyway, let's see if we can actually get some money behind us. Because we need some money. Because, look, we've got a problem here. The contract expiry date. Well, Shea Lacey's actually going to be out the door because we can't afford him. But we've got just 10 players that are running out of contract in 2028, which is end of next season. And if you look over at the finances, we're still £1 million under budget. So, yeah. There you go. We couldn't keep hold of this. We couldn't even keep hold of Chidozie Obi. Unfortunately, he's a young player that would be fantastic. He's got great potential. Wonder kid, fairly professional. And yeah, fortunately, we couldn't even keep hold of him because we didn't have any money. Fortunately, what I have actually managed to do in this juncture is I requested more transfer budget and I requested more wages. They said no to both. I then made an appeal. They said no to both. I then just thought, you know what, let's go out with a bang. Let's leak it to the press. And if we get sacked in the 5th season because of my financial mismanagement, so be it. And you know what? It bloody worked. It actually bloody worked. I didn't risk doing it with the transfer budget. Although, to be honest, I did the transfer budget conversation first. And when they said no, I just went, oh, whatever. I didn't think I was going to sign anyone. It was more about trying to keep the players here because I wanted to try and keep as much of this squad available because I'm going to put this end of the season 5 save file up on my Patreon if people wanted to take over it and see how they get on going forward. With my team that I've built with Manchester United. But we have got the end of the season. We've got the season 5 to still go. We've still got to win a Champions League. If we don't win a Champions League, it's probably... Even if we win a Champions League, is this considered a failure? Because we've not done great, have we? I feel like I've done this quite poorly. In terms of... I've sorted out all the contracts as well. Some of them have got contracts offered. Some of them have got contracts accepted. But no one should be running out of contract in 2028. So there's that. Let's go to the end of the season and say... This first rebuild has been a bit of a disaster, but hey, quite entertaining nonetheless. Can we win a Champions League? No, we can't. We can't even win the bloody league. So Spurs have won the league. So second in the league, semi to the Champions League, third round of the FA Cup, and semi-final of the Carabao Cup. So pretty poor, truth be told. Pretty poor final season. 472 million. Where's all this money come from? We've not even ticked over. So this has obviously come in during the season. £160 million. We've got £6.2 million in wages. So, okay. So all you people want to jump on the old Patreon and get hold of this save file. You've actually got a nice transfer war chest available to you. You've got a squad that is fantastic. Let it be known. You know, you probably do with is a bit of a rebuild in itself. I mean, you've got an amazing set of players, but there's a few players that you want to let go and a few players you want to bring in. But now you've got the money to do so. So yeah, there you go. All right, let's have a look at the schedule. How did we do in the Champions League then? So we lost 2-1 over 2 legs to Arsenal. We beat AC Milan on the way there and Porto. The FA Cup, we lost 4-0 to Newcastle. In the Carabao Cup, we lost 5-2 to City. I mean, it was a 5-4 in aggregate. I think, Jamie Doku in extra time. Well, there you go. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is the end of today's experiment. We have finished second in our final season. We won 3 Premier Leagues in a row. Seasons 2, 3 and 4. We managed to win 1 FA Cup and we also won 2 Carabao Cups. So, to be honest, a mixed bag. But I think on the whole, considering that we nearly put the club in financial ruin, again, I'm not holding myself completely responsible. There was a lot of responsibility on the previous management of the company. We were still paying for Mason Mount, Onana, Anthony, Lisandro Martinez, Casemiro, like 10 million. Like, that's 60 million every bloody summer. Just for those players, because they're about 10 million a pop. And there's probably more players that I can't even think of. So when I'm putting in installments as well, no wonder it's causing problems. Anyway, the whinging about financial management of the club with the wage budget, because they took it off me. I don't know. Anyway, that's the end of today's rebuild. Not an experiment, today's rebuild. I hope you've enjoyed this. And I enjoyed making it. I'd like to do things better in future. But, got to start somewhere. And hey, what better way than it to be a shambles? Let me know in the comments teams you'd like me to do rebuilds with, because I fancy it. I fancy doing some more. And I fancy some different challenges as well. So yeah, let me know what teams you want me to do rebuilds with. I thought starting with United would be a fun one because, hey, how can that go wrong? Well, that's how. Financial peril. Yeah, if you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel, like the video and all that jazz. But most importantly, gang, do take good care of yourselves. I'll see you soon.